Hey guys, and welcome back to week 4 of Betting B1G. I'm Alexandra, your host, and with me I have these guys who actually know what they're talking about.
Sometimes.
Austin and Tim.
Not really.
Not the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a rough start. It's been a roller coaster ride, but I feel like that's college football. It's got its ups and its downs.
I'll still take my winning record overall. I'm good with that.
That's fine. This is where after the first month of the season is where I really start to ascend as opposed to...
You just got to get your information.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it takes time to figure out what everyone's doing, really doing,
Yeah.
not just what everyone's assuming they're going to do at the beginning, I feel like. All right, well, let's get right into it and take a look at Nebraska at Michigan. Michigan is a 17-point favorite. Nebraska's coach is new, and they're looking for their first win. Can Michigan be consistent?
I don't know, Tim. I felt like I was wrong about what Scott Frost could do right off the bat and underestimated or forgot just how untalented that roster is that he inherited. I'm not a big believer, as we've said a lot of times, with Jim Harbaugh and backing him to cover any spreads because that offense is so unimaginative, but it's hard to see with how terrible Nebraska's defense, how Michigan would not cover in this game. So I'm going to take the home team and see if Harbaugh can get a little momentum going now that he's into Big Ten play.
Yeah, I agree. I do think Michigan's offense, though it is rather boring and vanilla, they do have some skill players on it, and I think that you've seen some throws that Shea Patterson's made the last couple weeks that remind you why he was a 5-star prospect and all this stuff. But yeah, Nebraska has just been bad for the first 2 weeks. They have a banged-up true freshman quarterback, questionable for this game, going on the road.
And no depth behind him.
Nothing behind him against a really good Michigan defense and a really good Michigan defensive front. I don't expect Michigan to light up the scoreboard per se, but I think it might be very difficult for Nebraska to put up anything more than 7 to 10 points in this game. I could see something like 35-7, 28-10 in favor of Michigan. I agree. I like Michigan to cover the spread here at home.
I, of course, think the opposite, but it's based on nothing, absolutely nothing, pure just having opinions. So let's go to the next one then.
We all have opinions, Alex. It's okay for you to throw them out
I know, but I should care about those facts, those little things called facts or logic, but no, I just go with who I want to go to.
The secret is that sometimes it doesn't help.
It doesn't really matter.
That's it. I stick to what I like and who I like, and I don't budge based on anything.
There you go.
That's good gambling advice.
Exactly.
True. I stay away from that as much as I can because of this reason exactly, because I just go with what I want to go with. All right, so we've got Texas A&M at Alabama. Oh, man, I'm waiting for somebody to knock them off their high horse. However, it's just not being shown yet. So Alabama is a 27.5-point favorite. It's going to be the first real test for Bama, and I think one of the only tests after looking at their schedule. It seems like there's maybe 2 other games, LSU and I can't even think of the other one right now.
Yeah.
At the end
Auburn,
of the day,
yeah. Would you bet against this team?
No, not until I'm given a reason to do it. They've looked, arguably, really no argument. They've looked like the best team in the country. Mm-hmm. No one's really even made things competitive against Alabama yet so far. I just think we talked about this a little bit last week. I just think that the added element of Tua at quarterback, and they just have an explosive offense for the first time in what seems like forever, in addition to their vaunted defense. So that's why they've just been blowing teams out. 27.5 points is a lot to give up, especially to A&M, which I think is a little better than I thought maybe they were. They were impressive in that Week 2 matchup with Clemson, even though they lost. But still, I don't think that anything is slowing this Alabama train down soon. They will have a game eventually where somebody covers the spread against them. I don't think it's going to be this week, though.
I do think it's going to be this week. I don't think that we said just last week that you have to give them the benefit of the doubt until somebody proves them wrong. But I'm not going to wait for that to happen. I want to be.
That's a bold hill to die on.
I want to be on the right side of it. Texas A&M would not normally be the team that I would pick to do such a thing, but. We've seen even in that series history with a different coach and a different system, that it could work out. I was pretty impressed by Texas A&M offensively against Clemson, and now this is, another team in that upper echelon. I feel bad for Jimbo with the schedule that he's gotten in that first year, but, by no means do I think that Alabama is going to lose this game, but 27.5 in this situation against a caliber opponent of Texas A&M. The way they're playing early, a lot of people have been fooled by them before in the past and lost money, but for me, I'm actually going to pick against the Tide here and take the points.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily crazy. I mean, it's 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of points. But I'm just going to keep betting on Alabama until
it's working.
Until I lose.
Yes.
So.
It's working.
I know. I'd love to see Ohio State be the ones to knock them off their high horse, but sooner rather than later, and I want it to be this week. I want it to be this week so badly. I'm done with them. All right. Michigan State at Indiana. Michigan State is a 4.5 favorite. It's been a hot start for the Hoosiers. Do you think they'll keep it up?
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen this song and dance with the Hoosiers before. I'm a little bit skeptical of Michigan State this year. I thought they were way overrated to begin the year. Did not think they were a legitimate contender to win the Big Ten the way many others did. And there are some serious questions about them after losing to an Arizona State team that is frankly not that good. But it was tough to travel across the country. Mark D'Antonio now has even more of a chip on that shoulder that we hear about every single year from Michigan State fans. So even going on the road here, now that they're in that conference play, I don't have faith in Indiana. And if I'm going to have to, look at a spread like that, I believe that they can go on the road and handle it.
Yeah, I don't know. I did pick Indiana. I have seen, like you, seen this same thing with the Hoosiers in the past. They start hot. They have a huge game at home, night crowd, and they kind of just fold. I think I'm picking Michigan State to win this game, but I think Indiana is going to cover the spread. I think it might be kind of ugly Bloomington football.
It'll probably be ugly. You're right.
Bloomington, Michigan State football. But yeah, I'm taking the points here with the home team, the home underdog. But I do think Michigan State will find a way to win. Indiana does cover.
Stanford at Oregon. Stanford is a 2-point favorite, and it's a huge conference game for them. Oregon is a home underdog, which doesn't always happen. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, this line changed pretty quickly. Oregon opened as I think it was a 1 or 1.5 point favorite at home, and the line quickly shifted to Stanford -2, which is always interesting to watch, like those sharp changes right away. So that the money early was going in on Stanford. I don't know, like Stanford, shut down USC. That was a good win, but I don't really know how good it was because now that USC has since again been not very good. That crowd at Austin is one of the best kind of places to play in college football. Oregon's rolling. They're 3-0. They're 0-3 against the spread this year, but I'm going to take the home team here in front of that crowd, getting points in a game that really feels like a toss-up to me.
Yeah, I have no faith in Stanford, but they keep proving me wrong.
Yeah.
Like year after year. They're boring.
Yep.
They find ways to lose games that they should win if they're ever going to break through and be a playoff team. So in that respect, I don't like it, but I'm taking Stanford, and I just think because they've proven me wrong so many times that I might as well buck the trend.
Go with it. All right, Wisconsin at Iowa. So Wisconsin is a 3-point favorite. Badgers coming off a tough loss with BYU. Iowa Stadium is a very tough environment to be in, though. So can they push through? What side are you taking?
Really shocking to see Wisconsin fall apart, wasn't it, Tim?
Couldn't believe it. It's only been like 4 years in the making.
I don't know how many times people have to be reminded that they're not going to make that leap.
Yeah.
The people that expected them to come in and win the Big Ten and pick them in the preseason to be number 4 and in the playoff. I mean, it's like they didn't watch the Big Ten championship game last year, and Ohio State is even better than they were then. So just from that respect, I thought it was crazy. But they do this all the time where they mess around. They, play down to their opponent's levels. Their style is so boring. They have a quarterback who's going to consistently hurt them with costly interceptions. And as a lot of ranked teams can attest, going into this stadium,
Not a place you want to go.
I think they've got some crazy uniforms they're rolling out this weekend and all that. That tends to work in Iowa's favor at home, and I'm taking them outright here.
Yeah, I actually am too. I was a little less confident in that. When I looked at the schedules, I was like, oh, Wisconsin at Iowa, that's a loss for Wisconsin. Now that Wisconsin has lost a game heading into that, makes me feel a little less confident. But I still think that the Hawkeyes are going to win this game outright. This game did start as Wisconsin was a 6-point favorite, quickly bet all the way down to 3. So not a lot of confidence right now in the Badger. And weird at night at Kinnick, weird things just happen.
Absolutely, every year.
This is going to be the most Big Ten football game of all of all Big Ten football games, like a 9-7 final, whatever. But yeah, I'm taking like you. I'm taking the Hawkeyes. I've seen too many teams go into Kinnick and just weird things happen in that stadium. Yeah. I don't know what it is. We saw Michigan get beat there a couple years ago. Ohio State got throttled there last year. So yeah, I'm taking the Hawkeyes.
All right.
All right. Well, we have last but certainly not least, we have Tulane at Ohio State. And what a big game this is for Ohio State, not because necessarily the opponent, it's because of all the little factors going into it. With Urban coming back this week, we have Coach Meyer back. Ohio State is a 37.5-point favorite. Any way the Buckeyes lose. Also, the news of today, we have Bosa, who's coming off surgery and is out indefinitely. What do you think that plays into it?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any way they lose. This game goes one of two ways for me. It's either Ohio State tries to hang 100 in Urban's return, or they kind of suffer the post big win letdown / look ahead to next week Penn State.
Yeah.
And not that the game would ever be in doubt, but it might just be ugly for a half and they pull away late and maybe don't cover. I kind of tend to lead towards the former there and think they're going to try and score as many points as possible. In the first half, get the starters out of the game, get them rested up for Happy Valley. And then the backups will come in who are still better than Tulane starters, and they'll keep scoring it. They're going to try to put up a lot of points in Urban's return. Yeah,
they're going to score a lot of points, and they're not going to give up any. I mean, this Tulane team is not very good at all. I'm the understatement of the day. And it's rare that you would even have a week against a non-conference opponent like this for Ohio State where they would be as motivated and focused as they figure to be. They don't have anything to prove necessarily. They just did that last week against TCU, like you said, Tim. But, you want to put as much on film for Penn State to think about. I look at it as a different way than, hide some stuff, make sure you're healthy. I think they would want to give Tate Martell a bunch of series and say, well, he didn't play against TCU, but we've still got this that you have to prepare for. Or J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber in the same backfield. I think they're going to do a lot of crazy stuff against Tulane that you might not think, just so James Franklin has to spend a week preparing for that. And by the way, whatever they do, it's going to work against Tulane. So I think they're going to score a lot. It's going to be at least 70. Urban Meyer has always said he would like to get 100 at some point in his career. Privately, he doesn't say it a lot. Publicly, obviously, disrespectful. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen this week.
Do it for Coach, for sure. I feel like they have nothing to prove but everything on the line in some weird way. So that is it. That is what we've got for you. You've got their knowledge along with what you know. Make your bets. Good luck. We hope you make lots of money. Bring it back and shop here. So we have all sorts of gear. Austin's got one on. I have one. As you can see, it's unisex. Ladies, get yours now. Men, get them for your ladies, whatever you have to do.
There you go.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much. I'm Alex. This is Austin. This is Tim. And we will see you soon. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Go Bucks.